All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Space Tomatoes podcast with your favorite hosts on the internet. You know you love us, so here we are.
It's this guy and that guy.
Right? I'm that guy.
I'm
He's
this guy. Hi. Nice to see you. Welcome back. Or for the first time. Whatever.
It's been a while since we've done one of these, man. We've been on a whirlwind trip of podcast guesting, which has been really awesome, I think, anyway.
Indeed. Lots of different people from all kinds of different careers or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
walks of life.
Different fields of expertise, walks of life.
That's even better. Fields of expertise. Yes.
Right. So we kind of kicked this off with Andrew Lewin, a marine biologist, and that was a pretty cool show. And then that day, I think we did three sessions, which it doesn't sound like a lot if you don't do this. It's a lot, right? Doing 3 recording sessions in a single day, each of them being an hour plus, it's taxing. It seems like, oh, you're just talking, it's fine. It's taxing.
It wasn't that bad. Probably the after stuff is a lot harder than just doing it, but I feel bad for that. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, that guy. Remember, I'm that guy.
That editor guy in that back room. He never gets a break.
Right.
He never gets a raise.
You just flog him.
He never gets any consideration at all.
Oh, we got another sub. So that's cool.
Woo. Nice.
Yeah. That's always good news, right?
Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Whoever you are, thank you. We appreciate you more than we could say. Yeah. It's really awesome having you here. And we hope you enjoy the show. We hope you tune into maybe some of their past episodes, but don't go too far back. It's really bad. It's fun. It's funny, but it's not as good. So, but hey, another sub. We're cranking out guest interviews. This is fun. I will say this though. We're interested in viewing, talking to a lot of people, right? I think we're pretty much open to talking to most people, as long as it isn't like some shock jock, like let me rile. I don't want the rage bait crud, right? That being said, we may end up with some of that.
Maybe
I think we will do our very level best to keep things in a neutral area, right? It's a good way of saying that, I think.
I would hope so, certainly.
Yeah, passive, neutral kind of a style, and hear what people have to say. We will offer counters. We'll ask questions. We'll try and dive deep, and if we can, we'll find people in the instances where we do have people come on the show like this. We will try and find people that have a counter to whatever is going on, right? Not to have a debate, but rather to show that there are varying opinions on things, varying ideas, and data comes from all sorts of sources. So, hey, if you don't like it, just don't tune in for the episode. If you do like it, great. And if we've always said this, right? Every single episode, if you have ideas, you have guests you like to see on the show, give us a comment, throw it in there. We'll see what we can do. I can't promise we can work miracles, right? But we'll try. I mean, the worst thing they could say is no. So
that's true. No, I totally agree with you. Everybody's allowed to their own opinion.
Yeah. And exploring ideas is interesting. I think it's fun. It's pretty cool. Oh, and then also like our most recent upload, right? Great guy. The author of the IT dictionary. His nom de plume or pen name is Adam Korga. Great guy. Interesting person to talk to. we're going to have people on here that English may not be their primary language. And if that's difficult for you to listen to, again, hey, skip that episode. Give it a shot. I think it's interesting. He was pretty funny.
He is pretty funny. Yep. We have a whole schedule of different people. So if you didn't like whoever the current one is or the last one, you might like the next one because they're all pretty different. I don't know what boxes you checked in looking for people, but I think you might have checked them all.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, it's about interesting ideas. It's about, interesting people, things of that nature. I just, hey, I'm open to a free and open exchange of ideas. That's what it comes down to. If it's just not right for the show, then that's something, LX and I, we talk back and forth, and we've had these discussions. So,
Yeah, no, we've had the discussions. So anyway, I think we're good for that. I mean, I think the audience is understanding on those kind of subjects. I think they'll be all right.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Then you have just the ones with you and I, which, how can you go wrong with that? Because our lives are so interesting and all that stuff.
Maybe to someone, I guess. It seems like regular day stuff to me and
pretty much.
But hey, we enjoy it. We do what we like. We have fun. And isn't that the key to life? Like a happy life, just have some fun,
So you and I were talking about the other day, you sent me some pictures of your pool with the iceberg floating in it. Contemplating taking the plunge.
Man, that would be, it was, it's iced over, right? So
not completely, right?
Well, at one point it was all but except, and it's an above ground pool. And it's a 30-foot round above. It's a big pool. And there was all but like a tiny little sliver that was iced. What I showed you was 2 days later, and there's still an ice float out there about, probably about the size of two humans laying next to each other, right? It was pretty big still.
I think you could have done it.
I'm pretty sure I'd shoot out of that thing like a bottle rocket.
I would like to have seen it, at least.
I'm sure you would. And I made the offer, hey, next November during Alpaca, come on up. We'll ice that thing down.
Oh, I have to do it too.
Oh yes. You're the one that called me a chicken for not wanting to do it.
But it's so much easier to call somebody out when you're 500 miles away and don't have any chance of actually having to get pushed into doing that yourself.
This is true. And I'll concede to that. What's the worst that happens?
Yeah, no, you get cold and you come back in, you warm up, right? I mean, you're not going to die, probably. Maybe.
Most likely. Yeah, as long as your cardiovascular system is in decent health, I think you'll be okay.
I don't know. You see them Russians and the Swedish guys doing that stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They seem to enjoy it for some reason.
I mean, it's supposed to have a lot of really good properties to it. It's supposed to really, and I don't know all of that, right? I should dig into this. I mean, it's not like I can't go do something like that.
Well, I mean, you get those athletes jumping in like tubs of ice and stuff, right? And they're paying big money to do that stuff. Or they have those, CO2 cryo chamber things, like you stick it up into your neck and I don't know how that works. I haven't done that. No. I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Like you were talking about, they have like full red light saunas. I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they got that at like what is it? The gym like that's everywhere. Like Planet Fitness, they got one there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That might be worth a membership.
I think I can get one for free for my insurance.
There you go. Stop by, jump in, get your red light on, full body.
You don't have to go out and deal with people and all that stuff.
Yeah, isn't Planet Fitness one of the ones that stays open 24/7 though?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not positive. I know a lot of them do. So you can always just like wake up at the, before your normal time. Like instead of waking up at 4 a.m., wake up at, 3:30.
I'm on chicken time, man. Sun up, sun down. Same as them. I roost. I go to home to roost at night, right about 6:30 when the sun goes down.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is, for the last, I guess over a year now, I rarely ever wake up to an alarm. Just leave the blinds open, and I wake up, and you know what? When I do have to wake up, alarm, like I have to get out of the house for work or whatever, I feel like absolute crap when I wake up. And like that's like a third cup of coffee day because I am dragging ass all day, man. But when I don't, I wake up and I'm ready to go, which is interesting. It's that circadian rhythm, you got
to stay away from that the screen blue light at night. Looking at that messes your stuff up too.
Yeah, I'm pretty much off screen for the majority of my evenings. Yeah.
They do have like blue blocking glasses that you can wear. They like have a yellow lens on them that's supposed to help. I don't know.
I think the blue light is only a portion of the problem there.
Well, I agree.
I mean, you're talking about rage bait, doom scrolling cesspool of garbage, and that's what you're putting into your brain right before bedtime. Well,
that's true.
Yeah. So I'm sure the blue light isn't helpful, but I don't think the solution is to get special glasses so you can look at your phone more. I put the damn thing down. Just set it down.
Or better yet, I have an even better solution.
You don't.
How do you stay off your phone more often? Don't even have a phone. That's even better.
Yeah, but that's kind of blown because you have a tablet.
Yeah.
And people aren't exactly using the phone service when they're doing that. They're using
you can lock it in
tablet.
A Faraday box that has a time release on it or something.
There you go. Yeah,
like they have a time delay safe.
They have like all this usage stuff, and this is something I've talked to other individuals about. Let's just go look at the usage. Let's just take a quick gander.
Oh, let's not.
The default reaction is absolutely not. I don't want to see that. Why? It might be problematic. Yeah. So, yeah, put your phone down. Just put it down. All that garbage will be there tomorrow. I promise you. It's not going anywhere. And you're not going to like miss out on the latest thing. What I mean? It'll be there tomorrow. You can still get the latest thing tomorrow. Although it'll be aged and everyone else will know about it already. So, oh no. But I mean, honestly, it's all going to be there tomorrow and refreshed. So you get like if you ever, I swear I have had times where I reached the end of the internet.
I've been there. Yeah.
Years ago, but still, you're just like, and all of a sudden it's just all the same stuff. And you're like, I'm just seeing the reposts of everything on the internet that I've already seen. And I, with some exceptions, find the commentary unnecessary. Like, I don't need to hear 5,000 people's opinion on something that just got posted and then reposted 5,000 times with a different opinion or the same opinion on each of those posts. It's the same post.
Sometimes I wonder why anybody would even want to hear our opinion. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't get the whole podcast thing anyway, but I appreciate everybody that does. I don't know. Thanks.
I think it's more about just tuning into something that's, for me, tuning into something that's somewhat relaxing. You're going to do something you can hear, like a conversation on a topic or a person that you might have interest in. And that to me is like a way to, when I'm doing things that require me to be doing the same thing for 4, 5, 6 hours, yeah, I'll put podcast in and just sit there and roll through podcasts that are interesting to me.
How do you go about finding ones that you think you might enjoy?
I actually just kind of like scroll through different stuff. After we started doing this, I've gotten, I wouldn't say we're in touch with or we are, engaged or friends with any other, podcasters per se. But I've gotten to kind of interact with a number of podcasters, and so that's another way, right? Word of mouth. People send me a podcast. Hey, dude, you should check this out. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so I check it out. If it's interesting to me, for me, it's more the cadence and the style. The thing I can't really do is the shock jock crap. I don't want to hear someone screaming about whatever the BS crap of the moment is, And I don't want to hear two people screaming at each other or a panel of people screaming at each other. But I'm more than happy to tune into a panel of people that are discussing things. And that's that free and open exchange of ideas. Like, as soon as it goes to shutting someone else down and not wanting to listen to, it becomes like a fight, I guess, right? A verbal altercation, if you will. It's disinteresting to me. I don't need to hear how you can insult someone and they can insult you and, all that stuff. Just, espouse your ideas and be ready to defend them.
Yeah, I don't know why somebody would want to do that exactly. But I guess it's for views and clicks and all those things.
It gets clicks. Especially, you get outrage from, especially in the political world, right? You end up getting outrage from, one side, and then you get outrage because of the you know what I mean? So you're like double outrage baiting people. Yeah, that's the stuff that won't be us. It won't be me. I'm not doing it.
What if I want to do that stuff?
You've got a mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no interest in that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just not. There's enough of that out there. There's literally thousands upon thousands, probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of podcasts. You can go fill your rage meter all day long. Just if that's your gig, hey, there you are. Now we will talk about topics, and we may have some of our own opinions, which may lead to a Havok rant or something. But again, I'm not trying to, in general, I'm not trying to bash another person, and I'm not trying to bash an idea so much as I'm trying to express my own opinions and where I think there are, logical fallacies or other areas of concern for me, right? So,
yeah. So how about the name thing? That is it? I guess podcasts are kind of like books where you really can't judge a book by its cover, because even going by our name, I don't know that I would even click on it. I'd be like, maybe. I mean, maybe it sounds interesting. I don't know. I'm sure there's a bunch of things out there that people don't click on.
Oh, I'm sure, right? And this was a discussion that came up with a group of podcasters, actually. And, one of the things was the name, right? Here's the thing about our name. It is unique. It is different. And it may not be click-worthy because you may not be able to tell what is going on.
All right.
But if you bother to read like the first paragraph, the first sentence or two of our description, you kind of get an idea. Like, this is free, open. It's not a niche. We're not pigeonholed into, we're only going to talk about this or we're only going to talk about that. We are literally open to, just discussing ideas. So, it can be helpful. It can be hurtful. I don't know. I think at this point, changing it would be detrimental. And I don't know what the heck we would call it, right? The LX and Havok show?
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, It's, I mean, the same as if it was the Havok and LX show. Like, who would click on that? Like, what does that tell you? It tells you absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And so it's kind of a fun and quirky, weird name. Space tomatoes. Okay.
I like it a lot.
I'm pretty happy with it. It's just our gig, man. It's our gig. Yeah.
So we both kind of survived the wintry hit of the Arctic coming down on us. Like, got it really bad. You guys had like tons of snow and ice and what they call it, snowmageddon or something, or icemageddon, or
yeah, we had icemageddon and then snowmageddon. Yeah, so the ice was the one that was more worrisome. Ice is a lot heavier than snow, like a lot heavier. And so our, power lines are all above ground, and, trees, we live in an area where there are massive trees, branches the size of normal trees, right? And so it just takes one branch to snap off and hit a power line that's already laden with, even like a 1/4 inch of ice is, that's it. That power line's coming down. So
yeah.
Power outages. And then of course there's the travel factor. Ice makes everything very, very difficult. Even you look in areas and people will say, oh well, if you're used to it. No, ice is you don't get used to ice. You either equip your vehicle and yourself with stuff to counter ice, or you have no traction. Sorry, there's no two ways about that. You can't just be good at driving on ice. It doesn't.
How about walking? I would imagine it would make even walking like out to the barn more treacherous than normal.
I ate absolute crap on the way out of our door, hit our yard, and there was an area that looked like it was clear, looked like I was good. I took a step and whoop, I did the Scooby-Doo.
You okay? Did you break a hip?
Yeah, well, I hurt my hip and lower back a little bit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, banged my elbow and my wrist up too.
You got like a bruise or anything, or?
I don't really bruise.
Oh, all right.
If I bruise, it's really, really bad. Like when I broke my collarbone and 5 ribs, I had some minor yellowing of the skin.
Okay.
Most people would have been black and blue. I don't know the science behind why that is, but I don't bruise easily.
I know when you get older, I'm not saying you're old, but we're both getting older. I know the ground gets a lot harder for some reason. I'm not sure how that works.
What do you mean old? What? It's just a number, man.
Nice.
I'm not old. I've leveled up. I'm on level 56, man.
Level 56. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't fall in the yard. That would not be fun.
Yeah, the thing with it really just came down to smooth area versus non-smooth area. So, we use a tractor, and so wherever the tractor goes, if it's moist, that one was for you, son. Moist. If it's moist, I'm going to work that one in a couple more times.
That's so
if
kind
the ground happens to be moist, I bet like half of the people are like, "Oh, don't say that."
I don't understand. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But
it's just a word.
If there's if the ground is in that position, then the tractor will leave very clear tire indentations, right? And the tractor tire has kind of almost a paddle tread almost. So if you're walking on that, you've got like this ridge and indentation, then ridge, and you might get like 2 or 3 of those under your foot, and that prevents the sliding because you're catching on the edges of the ridges, etc. So walking that kind of ground was really helpful, and we happened to have a good amount of that kind of ground.
Nice. Did you get to build a snowman or anything?
I tried and tried, and I could get.
What do you mean you tried? You either do it or you don't do it.
Well, I could get like a snowball this big to compact, and I could press it together and get it to be there. But the second you started trying to roll it, it would just lose snow as opposed to
How does that work?
It was too dry. It was exceedingly dry.
Dry snow.
We had static shock in the house everywhere, and outside, just everything just pop, 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 pop. It was so dry.
Are you sure it was snow and not like styrofoam or something, like somebody sprinkled from an airplane?
It could be. We don't know. I don't know. I didn't try and melt it. I've heard
That's
stories.
just weird.
I'm kidding.
I've never heard of such. I mean, I have. Granted, I have very little experience with snow, but that just sounds odd to me.
There's snow will fall either dry or wet, and I mean obviously there's a scale, right? It's not like it's either this or that. It can be drier or wetter, right? And you kind of want something, I would think, somewhere in the middle. You don't want it to be too slushy, right? Because then you're just making ice balls. But you want it to have some moisture so it sticks together. And as you roll the ball, more of it wants to stick to it, right? This stuff was just dry. Like you could pick it up in your hand and go like this, and it would just powder off.
Really? So like you couldn't even make snowballs that like throw at somebody, like your wife or anybody else?
You could get it to compress into a snowball, but the second you throw it, it would just go.
Really?
Oh, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, so it would stick to our boots and stuff. Like, we had a couple of German wheat beers, and I put a couple of those out in the snow and let them, get cold out there. And it stuck to those. But again, the reason for that is the moisture. You've got a warm liquid inside of a glass container. You put it in the snow is going to melt around it. And the snow that's above that is going to, kind of take up less and less of that moisture. So when you pull it out, there's snow stuck to the bottle, right? And the same with our boots, right? We're pushing out heat from our body. And as you walk through the snow, some snow will accumulate. And probably some of that is moisture from the ground and stuff like that. But in just snow on snow contact, it was useless. I couldn't get it to do any of that stuff.
For those listeners in the northern states, are like, man, you guys are just a bunch of wimps, But we're not used to snow, man. It's like unusual.
It is. This was a once in 20-year event. We got 8 inches of snow. That's minuscule to a lot of, especially northerners, right? The Yanks. They get a lot more of this stuff. They're used to it. Of course. They drive better in it. There's no question about it. Again, snow, not ice. Ice is just ice, man. They're just, unless you've got cleats on your tires and you've got, gear, you've geared your car up for those conditions, which a lot of those people do. So that's the big difference. Nobody here has cleated tires. Nobody. It would make no sense to have an entire extra set of tires with ice cleats on them for what? Like once every 20 years you might put them on. They'd be dry rotted by the time you got to them, And
there's probably like not one snow plow or anything in the entire state, I would imagine.
Well, they don't. Yeah, we have plows, right? They'll put plows on trucks and go.
Oh, they actually have them?
Well, sure, but they're not purpose built, right? They're just general purpose trucks with a plow on it. Then we just use dump trucks for or water trucks or whatever they are for brine. And we use a lot of that, but we do not have the infrastructure to, like, it won't be cleared quickly. Number one, we do our best, but we don't have the infrastructure to get and plow all the streets, right? It's just not going to happen. So, and that's a good thing, right? You don't want to pay for a fleet of vehicles that sits there for 20 years having to be maintained and, refreshed with newer stuff or whatever the case is. in the event that you happen to get a snowstorm. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they were even giving us a 40-50% chance of seeing flurries here in Central Florida, which was extremely unusual.
Yeah,
but nothing happened here where we were. I mean, my wife was a little disappointed, I think. We went out a couple times in the middle of the night just to see, but nothing. But a couple places within a few miles, like, just stuff floating in the air. No accumulation on the ground, but
still
interesting.
Isn't it weird? I'm sorry, and maybe this isn't a universal thing, but for me, like, it's a weird thing. Like, if snow is just awesome. It's pretty, it's beautiful, it's fun. There's something exciting about it. Like, I see it falling out of the sky and I want to be in it. I want to be looking at it. I want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, rain comes, I don't do that. Sleet, nah. Hail, maybe, because I want to see kind of hail pinging off stuff. But snow, nice. On the other hand, I will literally stand there at the door and just watch snow fall. Even if it's not sticking on the ground. I'm just like, ooh, snow.
Well, maybe that's just a universal thing. Like, I've seen so many videos of dogs playing in the snow, and I mean, they're just having a great time. Like, they're just loving life. Did your animals do the same kind of thing? Were they enjoying going out there playing in it, or?
The house dogs, not as much.
Okay.
The LGDs, livestock guardian dogs, they love that stuff. Like, you
they got those big, thick coats and stuff. I'm sure they're loving it.
Yeah, the Pyrenees you go out there and they're laying it. They're just like, yeah. They're like, come on. They're like, no, I'm happy. I'm in my snow. So
what do horses think about that? You got to put the blankets on them and all that stuff?
Nah, blanketed horse is a sick horse, right? In my opinion. So here's the thing with blankets. A lot of the times what you'll see is blankets are used, and I'm not going to poo-poo that. If you feel you need to, you go for it, right? And I will say this, if it gets too cold, yeah, probably a good idea to bring your horses into a barn instead of a blanket, right? But even a blanket, sure, because if you've got to get them out there and, muck stalls, you got to do whatever, okay, like super cold. Where we get it doesn't really get that cold. And we aren't showing the horses or anything, so they grow their winter coats out. And I think blanketing to a large extent kind of prevents that from happening. You're keeping the horse warm and kind of changing that pattern. So a lot of
that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of show horses and stuff like that, they're going to be blanketed. They're going to be, kept in a little different state. Our horses, they're like, yeah, whatever. They don't like snow for one reason. Well, probably two. It falls on their back. They are warm, and it turns to kind of an ice sheet. They're not real happy about that, so they'll stand under the run under, or they'll go in their stall and, hang out in there. But the biggest reason they don't like snow is, where'd all the grass go?
Yeah.
They can't get to it. You know what I mean? And so they'll sit out there and they'll paw at the ground trying to open up a little area where they can munch on some grass,
With their hands?
No. We're not doing this again. Cats don't have hands. They don't have arms. They are quadrupeds.
We're talking about horses. Horses don't have hands?
Also quadrupeds.
All right. I'm just checking. I know I've caught you out a few times.
See, this is us. Well, sure, you say it enough, it's going to slip, right? We are bipedal. That means we have two legs, leaving us with two arms. Cats, horses, dogs, sheep, donkeys, goats, quadrupeds. So when we get the horse's feet done, we don't say, can you do their arms too? They come to do 4 feet.
It's a pedicure.
It's a horse pedicure. It's a petty. Instead of a mani pedi, they get a petty. See?
So I just had an idea, like maybe our first T-shirt could be like a cat with a space helmet holding a tomato and giving like a thumbs up.
Cat with arms. You're just trying to push the cats have arms thing. I know you are. It's your conspiracy. This probably goes back to Egypt times.
I don't know about that.
It could. You don't know. I can't read hieroglyphs, so they could have had some of that could just be a discussion on whether cats have arms or legs. We don't know.
Maybe I should write a book. We could write a book together.
I've tried that. It's pretty cool in the beginning, and then no. A ghostwriter.
I'm kind of envious of these authors that have, we've had on that have written books, and seen the whole thing through to the end.
Oh, same. I mean, the amount of...
I've done it in my brain, but...
Right. The amount of dedication to doing that. It's amazing, right? Because you think about it, they have to put an idea in their head onto paper and write it in a way that people want to read, number one, but also that makes sense, right? Because the jumble in my head may not make sense if I just put it all on paper. I've got to actually coordinate, timelines. I've got to coordinate subject matter, and I can't just go bouncing willy-nilly all over the place and running off on tangents here and there. People will just be like, what am I reading? This would be better as a podcast.
See, that's what I said when we first did this. Podcast is the lazy author's exit strategy or secondary plan, I suppose.
Sure. Why not? I mean,
do an hour short story every week.
Right? Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, it is. It's, especially, depending on the format of the show. Some of them are quite well thought out and planned out with, a really good script to guide the session, right? And I don't like that. I'm not doing it.
We're not really script guys, I don't think.
No. I mean, I can script on a computer, but, not this. Yeah. I've tried a couple of times, and it feels unnatural. And I know there's a whole, method to taking those and making them feel natural, right?
Right.
But that is, okay, so here's the real gist of it is I just don't have time. I don't have time to do that. That would be, in and of itself, all of my time, which would leave me with no ability to edit, to engineer the sound, to do all of the stuff that I'm terrible at, but I'm learning.
So I tried a couple times. So guests, especially guests that I'm really not that familiar with their field of expertise. I did a little research and I came up with some questions, and out of those questions, I wrote them all down and everything. You know how many I used out of that?
1, 0. Yeah.
I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I don't, people can look that crap up. They want to know other stuff, I think. I want to know other stuff. I don't know what they want, but.
Yeah. And I think that's, I do the same thing, right? I don't necessarily always write it down, but I'll do my research and look into things and have questions or areas that I'd like to explore. But at the same time, when you're in a conversation, and that's kind of what we do, right? For those of you that don't know, before we start a recording, we kind of run through some, what this is, blah, blah, blah. Felt a burp coming on. It's gone now. But we go through this whole thing and we describe it as just picture yourself. You've just met two people you're sitting around a campfire with and, drinking beer or whatever, drinking water, drinking nothing, whatever you want to be doing around your campfire. But literally just that, right? You're just engaging in conversation. People are interested in what your field of expertise is, and you just strike up a conversation, and where it goes is where it goes. And so it's authentic. It's unscripted. It's, natural. It doesn't have a, planned start and end area, right? And that to me is one thing that I think is enjoyable. I like that.
Me too. Yeah, the whole scripting thing, besides I wouldn't say I'm lazy. It's just like, I think I tend to procrastinate and put things off to the last minute, and it's just like a little bit too much for that kind of stuff. It's easier.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to do it, but here's the thing about it, right? It also cuts out the ability to just go off on a tangent. If you ask a kind of a broad, open question, you're going to have, whatever the response is.
Right.
And I feel like scripting, if you're sticking to a script, you're going to end that segment and just transition to a new topic area, if that makes sense, as opposed to, let's see where this goes. Oh, look, they said something interesting here. Let me ask a follow-up on that,
Right.
and just let the conversation flow. And I think there's something good to that.
Yeah, I think if you try to do the scripted thing too much, you probably end up limiting yourself and probably limiting the guest as well.
Yeah.
Try to stay in those parameters, but.
And so far, all of the guests that we've had have had a good time. And that's also important to me, right? We're here to talk. We're here to hear your stuff. We're here to ask questions, sure. But, really, we want you to, be the star of the show. We want you to shine. So we're just kind of following wherever we go and asking questions along the way.
Right.
And listening.
But, I mean, with that, we're not out to, like, get anybody or, trick them or talk them into saying something they shouldn't say. It's it's genuine, legitimate interrogatories, like to find out more about them.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I think is important.
It's that campfire chat. You don't go sit around a campfire to just poke holes in someone and give them a hard time.
Right.
Right? That's not the vibe around a campfire. At least it hasn't been.
I just do that
me.
to you when you don't want to jump in the pool.
Right. Oh man. Yeah.
So is it warmed up now? You got any chores you got to do around the house?
We have we have some fencing projects to tackle. We'll
Still
probably be doing those tomorrow.
Or they get postponed?
Well, yeah, it's hard to do those in an ice storm. It's also hard to do those in a snowstorm. And, so, you want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans.
That's right.
Okay. So, so the plan is to do that tomorrow. Today is going to be a lot of cleanup. We've got a bunch of cleanup to do. So, yep. Clean up. Oh, and we've got a bunch of feed. We got to move down to the feed shed. We got to stack some in the barn. We've got to get bedding. Because we've been running through bedding like crazy. Because as I said, they don't want to stand out in the snow. Same with ice, right? They don't want to stand out in that. There's, they're not eating the grass because the grass is now coated. So they'll stand under the run under or in their stalls. And of course, they aren't potty trained, so yeah.
That probably raises the feed bill a little bit, huh? When there's no grass available.
It does significantly. Yeah, we went through 15 bales of hay for a week. Not even that.
Do you normally stockpile that stuff? Like quite a an amount of it? How much do you actually store, like in times worth at a time?
So that depends, right? But primarily, typically what we have on hand is about a month's worth of feed at any given time. And that depends on how we're buying and what we're doing. So whether we're doing, drop ship type stuff or we're buying by the pallet. When we can, buying by the pallet is the best way to do it. So there have been times where we've had 9 months worth of feed, 7 to 9 months stacked in the feed shed. So it just depends on how we're buying and what we're doing. Now, hay, we've had years where we've, stacked, 60 to 100 bales. And we've had other years where we just don't need it. If the
You do the
pastures,
square ones or those ginormous big round ones?
we do square bales because and they're
okay.
they're rectangles, but that's too hard to say. So square bales. Although this most recent rash we got for this particular, because we're in the wrong time to be buying hay. You buy hay in the spring and hope for first cut, right? Because they'll let it grow back up and then cut it again. And they'll grow, but you start to get weeds, and the quality of the grass goes down, and all that good stuff. But the stuff we got is these highly compressed bales. So you've seen, if you haven't seen one before, a bale is probably about 3 feet long by about 18 inches by about 12, 14 inches high. These things
What's that metric?
What's that? What's
that
in
metric?
It's different. That's what it is. Right. These things, they took them and they put them in some like trash compactor or some crap. And now these little bales are like, I don't know, 2 feet. Not even that. Foot and a half by a foot and a half or something. I mean, they're very compressed. So it's the entire weight of a bale in this little teeny form factor. And it's difficult to manage. It stacks easy. That's kind of neat, but I don't like it. And then the flakes come out just hyper compressed, which I don't think is a good thing. Having it be a little bit looser allows the horse to pick up enough to eat without like over pulling. And horses have a habit sometimes of kind of taking it, and when they're trying to break some off, they just kind of fling it. And so you get more waste, I think, with that manner. But the other thing is they're super heavy in a small form factor. And I was rolling one out of the truck into the tractor bucket and caught my thumb between the bale and the edge of the tractor bucket. And so,
Oh.
It's a little spot.
Yeah. Did it throb and hurt and all that stuff?
It did, and I was ready to do but it went away after about 3 hours, 4 hours or so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it doesn't go, normally you got to do it like right away, like take that red hot poker and it's very, very counterintuitive to what you would think would help, but.
Yeah, well, no, relieving pressure is a real thing, right? They do that for a lot of things, right?
But who wants to stick a red hot flaming needle in their or paper clip in their thumbnail or fingernail? Nobody wants to do that. That's crazy.
But when you do, absolutely, because after you do that, it goes and you're like, wow,
kinda.
Okay, that was very helpful. So it's one of those things. If the pain of what you're going through outweighs the procedure, you'll do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
it took me like 10 months to grow a new fingernail. It took forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this one. It's not even half the bed, so it should be okay, but I might lose part of my thumbnail.
Yeah, mine never fell off until like I got like the last little bit, and then it got kind of flaky at the end, but I was surprised. My whole thing was like purple and nasty, and it went way behind, like where you could even see. Like it kept growing out, and I'm like, holy crap, man! It was like a quarter inch past where you could see it.
Yeah, that's what this one's doing is it's growing out. But I think, well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't care. It's a thumbnail, whatever.
Were you wearing gloves or no?
Yes.
Oh, really? It still did that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these were heavy, and again, it was just against the blade. So the bucket's kind of like this, and there's a blade on the front, right? That's where you can lower and scrape stuff off the ground or whatever you want to do, shovel into dirt and pick it up. Anyway, I rolled it, and when I was rolling it, I had it like this, and then I rolled it like this, and my thumb just happened to hit the blade of the bucket, and the whole thing kind of on its own, just momentum, just.
My thumb is hurting in sympathy for you. That stinks.
Doesn't hurt anymore. It's all right.
That's good.
It's just another damage point. It's like, all right.
So how would all your plants fare? Are they all like dead? Everything's dead?
Yeah, everything but the garlic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
All
much.
we have left is onions.
Yeah. The cold hardy stuff, right? The stuff that you could literally...
carrots. We got carrots still.
There you go. Carrots is another good one. Right. A lot of the root vegetables, not a lot. Some of the root vegetables will do okay with that, right? Bulbs, stuff like that. They actually prefer cold. You'll get better onions next year because of that cold spell.
All right.
And garlic. If you're growing garlic, those bulbs will be better.
We didn't do garlic because it never really worked out here because it never got cold enough. And now, the one time we skip it,
this would
probably would have been cold enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you tried freezing them for a while?
Yeah, that's how we had to get them to go last time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thing. You wouldn't think it, but garlic you plant in fall and you harvest, in spring, kind of late spring, early summer, depending. But if you don't get a cold enough winter, the garlic just goes, and you get these, there's your bulb of garlic. It's tiny,
right.
Like wow. But if you get a good freeze, and there's other things that go into it, right? Like the soil and other things, but nutrients, but minerals, other things. But the cold is what matters, right? When it hits that cold spot and it gets cold for long enough, that's what triggers it when it gets warm and it grows like really big bulbs, which is nice. We got some really nice bulbs of garlic last year. Did you guys take any of that?
No.
Oh, it was really good.
I should have snagged some of your sweet potatoes too. Those look pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They're tasty.
We only got little ones, but I mean they're good. They're just little.
Yeah, I mean the little ones are actually pretty cool. Because you don't really need like a whole sweet potato, right? And some of
but I want one, dude. Like I want one of those gigantic ones.
Well, next year we'll make sure you go home with a few, because we do get some big ones like this, and you saw them. There's some hefty sweet potatoes out there.
They're pretty awesome looking.
But the ones that are kind of not super small, but maybe yay big or so, are my favorite. I think they're the best. Okay. Yeah. But they're all really good. So.
Yeah, we had tomatoes up until this last thing, dude. Now it's all like nothing. There's nothing left out there. It's a wasteland of what once was.
It's compost. No, literally, man.
She was able to pick off like 20 nice heirlooms. We haven't had really good experience doing the heirlooms, but they did really good this year. And she picked them off. They're on the counter. They're ripening up in here. Not ideal, but at least we got something.
No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We'll go out and we'll pick. Typically, we try and pick ripe. But if we're out there picking and one looks like it's maybe getting, like something's out there trying to eat it before we can, or whatever the case is, we'll pick them half ripe, bring them in.
All right.
They'll ripen up fine and they taste great. It doesn't the big difference there is we're not picking them green, throwing them through a distribution channel. And the other piece is we're growing, heirloom varieties, non-GMO stuff, etc. So we don't get the longevity. We couldn't ship this stuff, right? But it will ripen in your house and it'll still taste, pretty close to a fresh ripened on the vine one.
Right.
As opposed to a store-bought one, which tastes like sadness, a lot of sadness. I can't eat the store-bought ones. They're terrible. Seriously, like we'll, every once in a while we'll have a salad and we don't have tomatoes available, and my wife will go get some, tomatoes from the store, even the organic ones, because that's what we do. If we're going to buy produce, we're looking for the stuff that has the least amount of death involved. And so, sorry, that was a little, but it's true. But she'll be like, yeah, they're good. But she liked tomatoes.
Right.
I didn't. And I love tomatoes that are homegrown or fresh tomatoes, like from the farmer's market, stuff like that. But store-bought tomatoes, I can tell them like that, right? And she'll buy them. She'll be like, yeah, these are actually pretty good. And I'll take a bite, and I'm like, nope.
But they look pretty.
They do. They look really pretty.
They're all uniform and the same color. And
Yep. Exactly.
They look good on the shelf. They look good in the bowl. Or on whatever you get them on.
Isn't it funny? Like, I think about that, right? I even today, and I know better, I wouldn't go into a store and look at varied size, uniformity, coloration produce and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the pretty stuff, right?
Of course. I think it's just human nature, man.
But when I'm at home, the varied size, color non-uniform, all that stuff doesn't even enter my brain. I'm like, ooh, look. And it's good. It's a weird human psychology. It's like our apples, like I was telling you, right? We don't do anything like spraying crap on our plants. So the apples suffer a little bit, and they don't come out like big, beautiful, super pretty apples because they're not loaded with pesticides and herbicides and fungicides and, all that good stuff. And so they're ugly on the outside. You'd look at it and go, that needs to be washed. It's washed. It's fine. But if you cut into it and ignore what your eyes are telling you, it's amazing. It's a Fuji apple, and it's freaking good. It's really good, So.
Yeah, maybe you need like 18 coatings of that wax stuff that stuff's so nasty.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I think food distribution is necessary in some areas of the world, and I think it's a bonus that is neat to have. But the way that we do it, I think, is bad for our health and bad for. Well, it's bad for our health in general, but it's bad for the plant nutrients. It's bad for, if you're thinking, and I'm not like some super environmentalist person, but, less damage, less harm is always good, right? And you're thinking about these tomatoes that you just got at the store, but what you don't realize is those were maybe grown in Mexico and then shipped to California, where they were warehoused and then shipped out to a distribution center in the Midwest, and then from there shipped out to your local, grocery store's distribution center, and then from there shipped out to all the different grocery stores in your area, where then you go and get your tomatoes and bring them back home. Now, I'm a big fan of eat in season and locally. And I think it's good for your body. It's good for the nutrients of the plant because the plant is growing in its optimal time and space. And you're getting the benefit of that, right? So.
Yeah, no, I get why they do stuff like that wax on the apples. I mean, because weeks or months later, they still look like they just picked them. But, like when you scratch that stuff off with your fingernail, it's gross to me. And then you cut it open. Like I've had ones like the seeds are half sprouted into trees inside the thing. And you never know it by looking on the outside.
No, my wife had brought some home. They looked very delicious. And so she cut into one. And I was going to have a piece, and I brought it up to my face, and I was like, whoa. The apple was fermenting.
Nice.
Inside of its little shell that they put on it. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that crap. Again,
fermented foods are good for you, right?
Yeah, not in that way. Not in that way. There's a way to ferment foods that makes them good for you. That's not it. Right. That's just pure rotting. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird, and buy local, buy in season. If you can, right? And I'm not saying, hey, every once in a while you don't, splurge or do whatever, but I think we get all too dependent on stuff that doesn't exist normally in the time we're eating it. Avocados, really big one. Avocados, you're not getting, look, it's winter, man. What the hell? So, yeah. And
no, my wife went through a big avocado kick for a while. I mean, they're very good for you. But the problem, like, you'll get them, and I don't understand how they pick them or ship them or store them or what. But like within a couple of days, they're like rotten. I don't understand. But they look pretty good on the outside. I'm sure they coat them with something too. Yeah,
I'm not certain what they do to process them. I haven't really dug into it, but. Avocado is one of those fruits that you pick when when it's ripe or very close to ripe, and it ripens pretty quick. It's not something that is naturally able to just sit on your shelf like a sweet potato or an onion or even a carrot or something like that. It's not designed for that. Never was. And the Spanish name for them is aguacate. They use up a lot of water.
Okay.
Agua, water. I don't know. What
I know that it's very difficult to find the balance between, like, the ones you buy at the store. They're either rock hard, like they pick them way underripe, or they're like halfway to rotting away. It's almost impossible to find them like good.
Yeah, you can just grab the rock hard one, throw it in a paper bag, close the paper bag, and check it every day. It will work. Yeah, it works really well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's the easiest way to do it. But yeah, we also, a lot of the times we go to one of the, Hispanic markets, and they'll have, their produce in general is not as uniform. It's not as pretty, but it's good. It's really good.
Is that local stuff, or are they bringing it in from somewhere else?
It's usually local.
Okay.
Well, some of it's probably being brought in as well, but it's skipping. It's got a different distribution network.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing about these farmers markets. How do you know like where that stuff's actually coming from? Because I've seen like news kind of report things, and then people are just some of them are bringing them in from just food distributors and saying, well, this is local farm grown, which it wasn't.
Well, here's your first clue. You look through their produce, if it's got those little stickers on it,
right?
It didn't come from a farm nearby.
That's a good clue, right?
That's a clue. And if you see that kind of stuff in a farm stand, avoid that farm stand, or go up and talk to them. What of this produce is from local farms?
Right.
And if they point to the stuff with stickers on it, just go, no. I didn't say local distribution center.
Yeah.
I meant local farms. And that's the easiest way. If you find a good farm stand or a farmer's market, the people there, by and large, typically are local farmers. They're bringing in their produce from their farm to sell it. Okay. But they will have corporate farms, corporate ag, people, and all that other stuff that'll be doing the same thing, right? They're trying to sell more product.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but the big thing is if you go talk to those people, most of them would be more than happy. Like, yeah, you can come on out and check out our operation. And if you find someone that's willing to do that with you, you're in, right off the bat, I'd say you're in a better place. Because none of these corporate people are going to do that. They're just not going to.
No, of course not. No. I know around here, a lot of the farmers, they tend to specialize in primarily one thing, whether like strawberries are big, blueberries. Yeah. And then the other stuff, I don't really know where it comes from, but it's not from there. Yeah. So that's all monoculture, right? You're talking about a farmer that grows strawberries, a farmer that grows blueberries, a farmer that grows whatever. And I will say that doesn't necessarily equate to bad things. It doesn't,
right? Someone may just be really good at growing blueberries, and that's what they do, and they have a great practice, and they're giving, back to the earth when they're doing it, through regenerative agriculture, and they're making sure the soil is fed. They're doing the right things, in my opinion. But it's also kind of one of those things that makes me go, I need to dig in here, because all of corporate ag is based on monoculture, all of it.
Right. Yeah.
Huge fields of one crop, right? Mm-hmm. Now that's where, it's a hit or miss. But a lot of the farm stands you'll find they're bringing in from their farm, and you'll find a variety of different things. And, that's kind of what I tend to gravitate towards for diversity of foodstuffs, but also because, it's more likely that people that are doing that are practicing the type of practice that I would like. And I'll talk to them as well. What do you do? What do you do for compost? Are you, how do you control pests? I want to know that. How do you control pests? And if you tell me that, well, you use an agricultural spray, I'm going to be like, okay, well, thank you. Appreciate your time. Have fun. Mm-hmm. I don't want it, I'll take the ugly blemished fruit. If I walk in, here's another thing, right? Heirlooms, especially tomatoes, are not the prettiest tomatoes. But I will tell you this.
No, of course not.
I will tell you this. They are the absolute best freaking tomatoes in the world, man. And so, I'm the kind of person, I see heirlooms out there that I'm going to gravitate towards that as well. They're harder to grow. They produce less. They're more costly, and they're ugly. So you walk up and this thing's all, dented and odd shaped, and, it's got holes in the top, and you're like, that looks like it's bad. It's not. It's really, really, really good. Try it. I promise you. And if like the Cherokee purples or the Brandywines, man, those are good.
She's got these yellow ones that she really likes. I don't remember what they're called, but.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We haven't really delved into those ourselves, just because we've got enough variety of tomato. We plant a lot of tomato.
And then you have those, the Chadwicks that just take over everything. They're like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, those Chadwick cherry tomatoes, I think I bought 15 seeds off of someone, and I can't, you cannot get rid of these. It's impossible. You just can't. They will grow everywhere, every freaking where. In your compost piles, in your walk aisles, out on the field. You're just going to find Chadwick cherries popping up every freaking where. And you've seen it, right? We go walking out there, and there's a tomato plant. There's another tomato plant. Oh, and there's one over there. There's one over there. We're going to grow, right?
We're never going to have to worry about never having any tomatoes, because those things will always be there.
Right. And you guys, you're primarily raised beds, and you experience it as well. So,
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just, well, you're talking about on a farm in a field. No, literally raised beds. Same thing. I've got a raised bed here that we've gotten 3 years of tomatoes out of it. I only planted one tomato plant 1 year. That's it. They just poop more.
They jump beds too. I don't know if the squirrels are grabbing them and eating a little bit and leaving. Yeah, they just come up, volunteers everywhere.
Yeah, I think
I'm not complaining. I mean, you can take them out if you want, but perpetual.
I think it's birds.
Oh, birds. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm if I go to pick one and it's past it's past its expiration date, I just toss it anymore. I don't care. Just more tomatoes over there. Where do we not have tomatoes?
Nice.
It works, It really does. It's amazing how resilient and willing to volunteer those things are. They're pretty awesome.
Nice. Well, I got some home improvement projects to do today, so I don't know. Maybe we can. I don't know. You got any final thoughts on this stuff?
What do you got?
I gotta do some. I gotta. Replace the transition from the wood flooring to the tile flooring in the kitchen. I got that like half taken apart.
Okay.
I gotta clean the chicken coop out and yeah,
compost.
they've been kind of locked up in there with the. I blocked the windows off and
Why?
put some cardboard on the floor. So yeah, it was cold, windy.
It wasn't that cold or windy.
It was. It was down into the teens. We got Florida chickens. They're wimps.
They're not. They really aren't, I promise you.
I mean, I didn't put a heater out there, but...
If you had one, you would have.
No. No, I didn't go that far.
Our coop, my wife was down there, opened the door and walked in. She was like, oh my gosh, it's so warm in here. It was like 9 degrees. I think it was 13 that morning when she went
Just
in.
from them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Them, their poop, their bedding. They don't need it. Honestly, they don't need a heat source. Now, if you're worried about, you could certainly suffer some damage to a chicken, especially a rooster, but you don't have any roosters.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can get frostbite on a comb. That you can get. But hens are very unlikely to succumb to that because their comb is so close to their head. So we did have 2 chickens. My wife goes, oh my gosh, look at the chickens. And I looked over there. We've got, several freedom chickens, we call them. They, you can put them back in with the other chickens and they just and fly over the fence. And they're like, we want to live out here. Okay. So we have mobile chicken coops or chicken tractors as they're called. And they just took up home in this one and they just sit next to each other on a perch bar in there. And, she said, look at the chickens. There's an Araucana chicken on the perch, and there's a Bielefelder on top of the Araucana perched on the other chicken.
Really?
And the Araucana had its head up under the Bielefelder. And the Bielefelder, if you're not aware, chickens can kind of retract their head into their feather stuffs. And it's like that, right? And I walked up and it was just hilarious because it was just this ball of chicken. It was the weirdest thing. Never seen a chicken perch on another chicken before.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that.
They seemed very comfortable with it too.
All right. Weird.
Yeah.
Should get a picture.
Yeah, I got one, but it's pretty bad. I'll see. Maybe I'll post it up here. We'll see. It's hard to see, I think, because there's hardware cloth in between my camera, and if I had walked in the door, which was open, right, they didn't close those. If I had walked in the door, then they would have freaked out a little bit and probably de-perched their situation.
That's funny.
But it was funny. So, yeah, no, I think I'm out of ideas and stuff to talk about at this point. Not really, but, interesting stuff maybe.
I don't want... No, I'm not going to do it.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Well, you can't do that. It's illegal.
Want to talk about the government?
No. I'm having a good day, man. I'm having a good day right now.
That always gets you going.
It does, but I'm having a good day. Today's puppies. Puppies in the gardens. And speaking of which, we're getting close to garden time. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to start off 100 or maybe go up to 144 tomato plants. What do you think?
Wow. Nice.
I always do that. I mean, the high tunnel alone usually takes 72 of them.
How did that hold up with the ice and the snow and stuff?
Really well, actually.
Oh, okay, good.
Other than one instance where getting ice up off the sheeting. So for the snow, no big deal. For the ice, though, we had to break the ice off because ice is really heavy, right? And so we're trying to bang the ice off, and it flips up, and ice doesn't just land flat all the time, apparently. So there's some little holes from the ice.
How do you patch them?
There's a tape.
Like a special tape?
Yeah, there's a tape that we have. I have a roll of it. It's, probably, 6 inches wide.
Okay.
And it's just, poly tape. I don't remember what the second part of poly is on this, but yeah.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited
I'm glad it didn't blow away. We had some pretty windy. We had like 40, 50 mile an hour gusts.
That thing won't blow away. In worst case, it would shred the poly on it, but it won't blow away.
Right.
That thing's in the ground. Yeah. It's
nice.
Pretty strong frame. So, yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited the gardening season's almost here. We get to start growing food again, and fresh, yummy vegetables is one of my favorite things. Yeah. And then
me too.
Meat chickens and hopefully meat goats.
Oh, we gotta have a big processing day? Is it about time?
We were supposed to get 3 meat goats last year, and things fell through, which was a bummer because we ordered them well in advance, but life happens. So this year we'll probably grab 3 boer goats, which are good big fat goats for meat. And then we're going to start up a second flock again for meat birds. So,
okay.
Yeah. See if we can't hatch out about probably 120 birds a year. End up culling probably 80 of them or so would be what I'd like to see.
Clean out those freezers.
Yeah, well, the chest freezers, it's diminishing rapidly. Now we pretty much just use the stand-up freezer. It's so much better to deal with. But when we start doing things, when we start getting the chicken culling going, that will obviously, that and the goats will fill that chest freezer for sure.
Quickly.
Yeah, go through it for a few weeks at one point in the year, and then stock food for the year, basically. I think 80 chickens is probably a little too much for us, but it's one of these things, it doesn't always work out the way you want it to, right? So if you plan for an overage, and hopefully you end up hitting your target. Kind of the way it goes, between predation and all the other stuff that comes along that inhibits life. You're likely to suffer some losses, and that's okay. It's just life.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got a plan in place.
Oh,
at
yeah.
Least.
Oh, yeah. Plan, equipment, know-how, knowledge.
I'm just happy our chickens started laying eggs again.
Yeah, that's nice.
They were on strike for a little while, I guess.
Yeah, they do that in the winter time. It's just what they do. Nothing worse than coming into winter and it's like, there's no eggs. We got to buy eggs. I don't want to buy eggs. It's stupid. I'm feeding you. Please, give me some food. Yeah, that's all right.
That's a bonus.
It really is. I love eggs. I probably, probably not every day, but, I probably eat, well over a dozen a week.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they're easy. They're convenient. I can hard boil a dozen of them and just have them in there, pop 3 of them out and snack on eggs. I like them fried, scrambled. I like them in a frittata is a wonderful thing. So all this stuff, yeah. Especially when we get fresh vegetables and you throw some fresh vegetables in there with, some maybe breakfast meat and some cheese and poof. Egg cake.
You could be like a Bubba Egg Gump or something. Like, I like fried eggs. I like boiled eggs. I like
Pickled
scrambled eggs.
Pickled eggs, poached eggs. Yeah, right. You could go on for quite a while on that one. Egg whites, egg yolks, but with fermented eggs, pickled eggs.
Can you ferment eggs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can.
You can ferment everything, I guess.
You can ferment like the yolks. And the Filipinos ferment whole eggs with the embryo in them. It's called it's called a balut. Yeah, absolutely disgusting to think about it, but they're actually
I'll
good.
pass on that one.
They're actually pretty good. I had one once, but it's disgusting to think about, and I don't think I want one again. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it wasn't bad. It was good, but the thought of it's kind of disgusting to me.
It is.
I don't know. That's just me.
Not even kind of. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll pass. But I do like my eggs. I really do. Like potatoes. You can boil them, mash them, put them in a stew.
Have you ever tried iguana eggs? I saw that recently on a video.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they had all those iguanas falling out of trees because it was so cold. They were picking them up off the ground, cooking them, and then one was like filled with eggs. Had like 20 eggs in it, and the guy put them in a blender, scrambled them up, and ate them.
All right, why not?
I don't know.
Iguana is probably pretty tasty, though. I did see some
guess.
videos of dudes making iguana tacos. I'd be down to try that for sure, 100%.
That's when you go to like visiting islands and stuff, and you look at a menu board, and they're like, "You want chicken or real chicken?" And then you got to make a choice,
right?
The chicken of the trees,
right?
Yeah.
Well, chicken of the trees or tree bacon out here is squirrel.
Oh, same different. I've never had that either.
It's good. It's really good. We
have a mutual friend who I know has had squirrel.
That's true. Yes. Yes, bird. Yep. No, it's actually really good. You would like it. That I can promise you. You would.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just don't tell me.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see about that. I have to figure out. I don't remember when squirrel season is, but it's right around that time. So could probably go nab a few and put them in the freezer.
They're just. I know that they cause damage, but they're so cute. I don't know.
They are cute.
But then again, I guess cows are kind of cute too, and pigs, and all the chickens are kind of cute.
Yeah, it's all kind of cute.
I get over it.
Exactly. It's all kind of cute. But yeah, they I'm not trying. So for me, it's one of those things I've had before. But I'm not super like, it's not something I'm going to go and typically try and get. Right. Mm-hmm. But I know how to clean them. I know how to cook them, and I know they taste really good. So,
yeah,
if offered, oh heck yeah, I'm down. And if you want to try them, I'll go get some, clean them, cook them. It's pretty dang good.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll give you a maybe.
Yeah, you'll try it. Have you had rabbit?
No, I have not.
Oh, also very cute and tasty.
Why are all the cute things so tasty? How does that work?
I don't know, but snapping turtles also very tasty and not cute at all.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And that I don't know.
I had an experience with it, like an alligator snapping turtle. That thing was mean.
They are. Yeah, we have too.
It was like coming after me.
Yeah, we have too.
I'm like,
we get them here, and they come. They're not usually very big. Probably they're out here they're in ponds, right? So that's going to dictate how big they grow, is how big their environment is. And so we get them out here, and they're probably yay big, the shell. But yeah, they're no fun to mess with.
Yeah, this one was pretty large. I would say probably at least 18 inches around, maybe bigger than that. Like I was driving down this little back road and there was like a canal, and like I tried to move him out of the way so I didn't run him over, and he did not appreciate my help.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'd just leave it, honestly. Well, because here's the thing, it's not just their mouth you have to be careful of, right? They do have claws. That's another piece. But that tail is armored and nubbed with ridges.
Okay.
And when they, if you pick them up or do anything like that, that tail will go whack up against its shell. And if your finger happens to be in the way, it's not going to be a good day for you.
Really? All right.
Yeah. So, and they hiss at you. Which is like,
no, he was pretty angry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of terrifying. You're like, okay, I don't like you at all. So I've had to take them by shovel and relocate them because we have a fence for our dogs, our backyard fence. And apparently they go from one pond to another as a matter of their, biology or something, whatever. But, this is just something they've done probably for, however many years, decades, millennia, whatever. But the fence is in their way. So they'll come up and they'll hit the fence and they'll keep going and then they hit the house. And then they try and go back across the fence. And it's like, and then they'll come back and then go the other way. And
get a visitor?
Hello, good morning, good morning. Oh, did you sleep well? Yes, okay. Go get your mom. Go on, go get your mom. Anyway, sorry for the disruption there. But yeah, they'll do that. And so, shovel. And then another time we put them in a bucket because it would fit just in the bucket. And and my wife's like, will you get it? And I'm like, oh, sure, but why? And she's like, well, I don't want it to jump out at me. I'm like, oh, now there's a whole new level of terror. A snapping turtle that could jump like straight up out of a bucket.
You never know.
Yeah, they can't. But they will try, but they can't jump probably more than an inch or two. Yeah, but they're scary. They will take a finger off. There's no question about it, Or
that's all right. I can't jump either. So,
well, okay.
Biology.
And on that note, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of the Space Tomatoes podcast. We've really enjoyed your time. You know where you can find us. We're on everything. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Podcast this, Podcast that, Podcast these, all the podcast things. Go look for us. We're fun. We're entertaining. Maybe we're not. If you liked us, if you didn't, leave a comment. If you have a topic, guest idea, throw it in there. We'll interact with you. Promise. All right. And remember, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, have an amazing day.
See you, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.